Alright there, geezers, Jules here from FGS, home of the Future Game Show. And you know what? Even though I look like the hardest in the pub and ooze energy that screams, I will beat you and your dad up behind the local Tesco's if you step in my shadow, believe it or not, I'm actually quite a delicate touch. And like all good British people, I hate confrontation so very much. Even the idea of changing the bed sheets requires an hour of counselling after. Yet, despite my love of From Software games and XCOM franchises, oftentimes I'll look at a video game and bump that difficulty all the way down, just so that I can enjoy the power fantasy to the fullest. But it turns out that some developers out there, they see the concept of an easy mode as a direct insult to their artistic vision, and so berate the player for daring to lower the challenge. And that's what we're here to talk about today, as I'm Jules, this is FGS, and these are 8 video games that mocked easy mode players. Harsh. And you know the drill by now, this is the Deep Cut with Jules Gill, baby! So expect to see games you don't know about, need to know more about, or ones you've not thought about in a long old while. So don't expect to see the likes of Wolfenstein's Baby Mode or Ninja Dog appearing here. But let's kick things off with number 8, Indy 500, You Can't Win. Now I know I look like a person that probably shouldn't be trusted with a machine of death and destruction, but believe it or not, I can actually drive a car. That being said, I am a long way off being anything more than a Sunday driver, and so have to live out my fantasies of checkered flags and pole positions via the medium of video games. Yet if you're playing Sega's Indy 500 racing game while using automatic transmission, you better get ready to have that fantasy turned into a nightmare, kinda like when the big vampire lady from Resident Evil starts speaking with the voice of my old maths teacher, Mr. Baldwin. No, thank you. I say this because the crafty devs wanted to push players towards using the manual transmission mode in the game by capping the top speed of automatic users, but did so to such an extreme case that you literally can't win the game because you're not fast enough to take first place. This means that even if you clock in a perfect race, you will still come up short as the developers silently laugh at you. Number 7, Evil West Arachnophobia. Okay, so before I start out on this next entry, I have to address a few things. I am going to talk about spiders. A lot of them, in fact. So if you are in the arachnid aversion camp, then feel free to move along, as I, unlike the devs at Evil West for a time, do not want to scare the living out of you. That being said, I'm also not making fun of people with arachnophobia by calling this an easy mode. However, the option provided by the devs to turn all of the spiders off is a quality of life feature that does make getting through the game easier by sorts. So yes, I'm twisting the rules, but I know you'll forgive me. We've got a good relationship. Whew, anyway, right, that's all the admin out of the way, so let's get on to the content, which can be summed up as spiders come. I love what they do for the garden, but they can get the hell out as soon as they cross the threshold to my domicile. If you're building a web there, mate, you are paying rent, and as I see you've left your wallet in your other spider trousers, get the out of here, you hairy nudist. So of course, I, alongside many other gamers, absolutely treasure the option that some games give to turn off spiders in totality, either changing them to other objects or just removing them forever, which is what Evil West promises it does. And to their credit, that kind of is the case. However, my friends, what you should never ever do, at least in the pre-patched version of this game, is to turn that feature on and then off again. And why is that? Well, because the game, for some reason, adds a new batch of spiders to the original group each time you do, and yes, that is utterly horrifying. Now, to be fair, this was an honest mistake from the devs, but for a while it truly seemed that players wanting to have less spider-induced heart attacks were getting pied off in spectacularly cruel fashion. Arachna! Thanks, mate, I'm good. Number 6, Tales of Destiny Director's Cut, the hardest boss in the game. So my friends, let's turn our attention to the oft-forgotten but downright brilliant RPG Tales of Destiny, who truly makes you feel part of its 2D sprite-based world because of how it utterly flattens players trying to get through these things on easy mode. Now weirdly though, for about 99% of the game, the simplified mode that you can play through on the PS2 remaster of this game is actually genuinely kind to players, lowering the skill ceiling and truly allowing them them to enjoy their fantasy romp. However, when it comes to Barbatos, the secret superboss of this game, it actually increases the difficulty tenfold thanks to this discount Harry Partridge Starbarian getting access to a new insta-killing move. This screen-clearing attack's name is also another middle finger to the player, as here it's listed as Cheap Eliminate, and trust me, it does exactly that. Yet because gamers are a clever sort, they actually found a way of getting around this attack and even beating him with some new spammy moves of their own. Great news, right? Well, wrong, my friends, because this caught the attention of the devs, who, in the director's cut, gave him even more moves that home in and can't be dodged and buffed his stats even further. They truly wanted to punish players on simplified mode, and boy howdy, did they make that statement very clear. Whoa, 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 all this talking about easy has got me living on easy street and I'm taking it easy. But you know what else is very easy? Clicking the subscribe button to become part of the FGS YouTube family. Do it, my friends, it's just a few clicks. When I say few, it's literally just one. You can't give me a click? You can't give me a click? I thought we were friends. Number 5, scratching Melodii, womp womp. Now, when it comes to rhythm action games, I often find that playing on easy is a challenge in and of itself, as I'm constantly trying to hit notes that just aren't there, or adapting to a series of button prompts that are boiled down to just one input. Yet when it comes to the 2023 demo of Scratching Melodii, the devs took a rather different approach to their easy mode mockery, by making the audio itself sound like somebody taking the absolute out of you. When playing on regular difficulty, you'll notice that the lyrics the characters spit out sound like mashed together text-to-speech, which definitely works well for them because it's stylistic and it definitely fits the world they inhabit. But on easy mode, however, the speech is processed and garbled so much that it sounds like your little brother going, "I know you were, but what am I?" And trust me, it gets old real quick. But not only that, most of the lyrics to the songs are cut out entirely, and the audio tracks are pitch shifted down, and in some places, even the tempo itself is slowed to a crawl. I'm pretty sure that the characters even have new animations that show you what they think of you. It is a supremely childish bit of mockery, but it is one sure to motivate you to try higher difficulties, as after all, when you're surrounded by this much music all the time, messing with it in such a fashion feels like an extremely cruel, if rather ingenious move. Number 4, Dragon Spirit New Legend. It was all just a dream. Now I ask you, my friends, is there anything more deflating than the "it was just a dream" ending that some films like to wheel out to close out their tale? It's basically like saying, oh, writing's a bit tough actually, so yeah, we're done here now. You can go home. Please leave. Mum, they won't go. Mum, they won't go. So imagine having slogged it through a video game only to be met with the same type of ending. It's gonna sting even more, right? And that was definitely the case for the deep cut NES classic Dragon Spirit New Legend, which definitely plays up on the latter part of its name by having the legend be confined to a book and your efforts being relegated to that of a dream should you die in the prologue level. Now, without your knowledge, the game will continue to play out, but it will skip some levels and vastly lower the difficulty, and only really rubs the player's face in things when it comes to the end. Now, on normal mode, when you defeat the boss, whose name just escapes me, so I'll just call him Piccolo in the Egg, you'll be told how peace and light will return to the earth and how much of a sick ledge you are. But on the easier version of this game, you'll see that Lace, the blue dragon, has actually just had a bad dream and that none of the events that happened took place in the real world. However, it also then implies that his twin sister is even scarier than the dream he's just had, as she's shown treating Lace like a pet and almost choking the life out of him. It's an ending that kind of feels deflating, dark, and depressing all at once. That'll teach you for playing on easy, I tell you. Number 3, Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, 0 jump scares. Now riddle me this, dear viewers, what is a haunted house without the haunts? If you guessed house, then yeah, you're right actually, that's a fair one. What, you're disappointed by that? Well good, hold on to that feeling because that is exactly what playing Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion is like on easy mode. Now, as you may well guess from the title of the game, Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion isn't exactly selling itself as a car washing simulation title and goes pretty hard on trying to make your skeleton leap from your very body with numerous tricks, traps, and shocking surprises. Or at least it does if you're playing it on anything other than easy mode, which was introduced in the HG Renovations edition of this game. And in this new mode, you'll experience, well, a whole lot of nothing, as all of the jump scares are removed and instead you simply walk through an empty house and then out the exit. Whoa. Jeepers, gazoinks. I mean, these are the comments of people playing this who find air a bit too peppery, but for the rest of us, this is a test of your patience and little else. The game goes even further with the mockery by giving you an ending where you leave and are able to tell your friends about the enormous empty basement, the hollow corridors, and the general lack of substance. I've never felt so burned by a game going this easy on me. Number 2, Virtue's Last Reward. Here, I'll just do it for you. Now, if there's any title that I'd want to have an easy mode outside of Dwarf Fortress, which is about as impenetrable as a sad golem's heart, it is the Zero Escape series, because they are heart-poundingly tense at the most chill of times, and honestly, I'm tired of dying in so many horrible ways. However, it turns out that there is a pseudo-secret easy mode within Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward, within the easy mode that is actually currently available, and all you have to do in order to unlock it is, well, absolutely suck at all the puzzle sections. So normally on the easier difficulty, your party offers up some really useful advice on how to solve the scenario in order to gently guide the player out of danger. However, if you still can't wrap your head around it, they'll grow more and more frustrated until they finally just give the player the actual answer. Yet here's where the casual idiots give up and shamefully take the very aggressive hint and just move on to the next section. But you know what? Right now, we're going to separate the wheat from the chads, my friend, because if you continue to act like a proper silly Billy, eventually your party will just say, oh, okay, this is doing my nut in, mate. This is embarrassing. I will do this for you, and it will auto-complete the section before then just moving on. I mean, sure, you've been chewed out and made to look an utter fool, but guess what? You just played your self-game. How'd you like me now? Yeah, not much. And number 1, Feral Fury. Bosses turn to birthday parties. Ah, Feral Fury, not just definitely what I'm going to call my lovemaking going forward, but also the title of an undersung indie game in the vein of The Binding of Isaac. Now the premise is simple: kill everything and anyone that stands in your way. But the twist? You are also a giant panda who is murdering in the name of bamboo. Seriously. You're taking over planets and colonies in order to turn entire worlds into bamboo forests. Yeah, this is a strange game. Very strange indeed. But you know what? It's not all just doom and boom, because it turns out that if you want to play this game on easy mode, there's also a thumbing of the nose by the devs for you to feast on. And feast you shall on the big twist of this mode, which is that every once in a while the boss battles, of which this title makes a big deal of, are replaced with a room filled with a birthday cake and party balloons. This mode also dials down the gore and replaces defeated enemies with rainbow-coloured butterflies, and it's not actually even called easy mode, it's called butterflies and birthday mode. Probably should have seen that one coming, really. Now, while this all seems fun and games, weirdly enough, the game actually is harder as a result of this joke, because the boss battles in question drop orbs that power up your panda, and without the battle taking place, you're losing out on this leveling up across the entire game, so thanks, but don't expect a party bag with this mode anytime soon. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 video games that mocked easy mode players. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. And if you want to chat to me on the social medias, you can do so by following me over here and my lovely editor Mark over here as well. Big love to him, and big love to you as well, my friend. Hope you treat yourself well with love and respect. Remember, above all else, you are a massive ledge, and I will see you here next week for another deep cut on the FGS YouTube channel. Goodbye. Get out of here.